Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, and today we are here to talk about the song Traveler in Time from the Demons and Wizards album. Now, I have to say that for some reason, and I've not figured out why, but this seems very out of order to me. On the original cassette that I had, I believe that Easy Livin' was the second song, Poet's Justice was third, and then Traveler in Time was next. And I have no idea why that might have been. It could be I'm remembering it completely wrong. But as I always hear the ending of The Wizard, I'm ready for Easy Livin' for some reason. So I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it seems out of order to me. But you know what? That's the order that it's actually in. So that's the order that I'm going to go with. And it's such a great song. It's a real powerful introduction coming out of that gentle ending of The Wizard with the really nice vocals and the acoustic guitar just kind of, fading out. And then just boom, we're back to rock and roll, guys. Heavy organ, heavy guitar, just really pounding drum beat and just we're back into rock. And it's a really nice transition. You know it's going to happen at some point. I mean, you're 3 albums into Uriah Heep now. You're on the 4th, and you pretty much know that they're a rock band. And while you kind of get lulled into The Wizard, you have to have somewhere in your head that there's going to be a rocker coming up pretty quick. And it does. And it's a great song. It really starts to go along that fantasy sort of concept. We've got this wizard, and then we're traveling in time, and really plays to the fantasy, especially then tying in all that beautiful artwork from Roger Dean. It really just makes sense, the direction that everything's headed in for this album. And the sound is consistent. I really like it. It's a great song, and I can't wait to get into it. But before I do, I always have to say something not about the song before I start talking about the song. I just want to let you guys know, wherever you're following me, there are other places that you can follow the show, scotthaskin.com, and then click the Uriah Heep podcast link. On Facebook, you can find us at Uriah Heep Podcast. Twitter, we are at Heep Podcast. Instagram is Uriah Heep Podcast. And our email, of course, is uriahheeppodcast@gmail.com. Now, no one has won the contest that I started during the Salisbury episode, and maybe I made that a little too difficult. So on tomorrow's, it'll be Thursday's episode, the Easy Livin' episode, we are going to have another contest. And this one, I promise you, will be much easier. I tested the question on someone and they got it within about 4 seconds. So first person to email me the correct answer at uriahheeppodcast@gmail.com will be the winner. And I'll be giving away a prize and everything. So that'll be fun. And I'll be curious to see how quickly someone gets the answer. Of course, it's difficult with with the podcast because it goes around the world. And some people will hear it very early in the morning it comes out at 2 a.m. in LA. And that is 10 a.m. In England. So, there are certain advantages for certain geographical situations. And I certainly understand that. When I get to the point where I'm doing the, the monthly drawings and that, hopefully that'll balance some of that out. But for now, what we have is the contest announced on the show. So we'll see how this one goes. And, if it works out well, then I'm certainly keen to doing more of them as ideas come to me. But for now, what we're here, because that's all tomorrow. But today we're here to talk about Traveler in Time. It's such a great song, such a powerful opening. Absolutely love it. Let's just dig in right now. Well, I never let it go too far before I have something to say. What a powerful opening. Just we're arrived. It's awesome. Really great wah pedal work here. You can really feel that pedal go up and down. Really great, powerful drums, lots of cymbal crashes. Just a really powerful opening. And I have to say, in even just this little bit right here, because we got a little bit of drums in the Wizard, but here's where the drums are really starting to kick in. They sound fantastic. Best drum mix I've heard on a Uriah Heep album so far up to this point. You can really feel the depth of the toms that you couldn't previously. Nice sounding snare. The kick could be a little bit more in the mix, but we'll hear that a little more later. And just a nice strong opening. So let's see what happens next. There's a couple of really cool things going on that set this apart from a lot of the other Heep songs, even in that instead of having the the verse doubled in vocal and then harmonies on the chorus, we actually have the opposite. We've got the harmonies on the verse and some doubling on the chorus, and it sounds really good. I think it works to have that on the gentler side for this, and then just do it straight where the power is. And also, I like the fact that we have a rhythm, we have a tempo, but we don't really have a drum beat through most of it. He's kind of just playing a feel for drums more than anything else. And, that coupled with a really strong snare sound really helps push this song forward, I think. But I really like what I hear. Such great wah pedal work in that section, especially. And I love just the simplicity of the riff. It's not, 4 bars of a whole evolving thing. It's just very straightforward, very simple, but it sounds so good. And the way that the band is playing it is just rich and full. And you really don't feel like you're lacking for anything in this song at all. It just sounds great. Love the wah pedal through the verse there. And if you listen to the bass at all, especially going into the chorus, it's really amazing how the work that Paul Newton set for the tone for bass in Uriah Heep just really continued on with Gary Thain. I think he's doing a great job here. Really just, it's so easy to just sit there and play the roots. And, here's another bass player coming in, just doing a tremendous job. So really great work here. It just sounds good and really cohesive. I think that's something that I could say for this whole album is it really sounds like it's a very tight band. Even though you've just got 2 new members, they're working some magic here. couple of really nice spots opened up there for the guitar to shine and do some interesting things that, again, they don't really, for me at least, detract from the song at all. It's weird when you have something that, it's an engine that's moving and you stop the engine to, put a little oil in it, that the engine can just rev back up and be right on the beat. And that's what's going on here. You've got, you've got these little passages that are opening up for the guitar to shine through, but as soon as the music comes back in, it's like it didn't stop. And so you get a really nice combination of, hard rock and some highlights in there. Really keeps it interesting. I think there's a synthesizer in the back of that somewhere. It sounds like it, or maybe it's an effect on the guitar. I'm not sure. But some great playing from Gary Thain and Lee Kerslake to keep it moving, and really just nice and cohesive. And then there's coming up just a really nice vocal part over the top of it, because of course we're going to have a vocal part. Why wouldn't we? It just sounds a nice little layer of clouds right over the water of the song. It's just fantastic. So here's where I'm torn on this song. There is a part of me that thinks it's absolutely perfect the way it is, that, nothing could have been done to make this song better. And yet there's another part of me that says, I want this song to be twice as long as it is. I want a couple more parts. I want to hear, another verse and chorus, because it's so good that I'm not willing to let it go and move on to the next song yet. And I don't know if it's because it's so short, or if it because it has that fade out, or what it is, but there's something that really grips me about it and just makes me want more. But at the same point, I can't say that I fault anything in the song as being missing or incomplete, because it is a good, solid, complete song. It's just over so fast that I want more. So that's the dilemma that I have with this one. And there aren't a lot of songs that I can say that about. A lot of them I feel like, this was a good, a good length, a good pace. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm ready for the next song or whatever. But for some reason, I've always felt that this one was something I just wanted more of. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know. Send me an email, post something on the, the Twitter feed or the Facebook feed. Whenever the episode comes out, some of those feeds get automatically updated. Some of them I have to do manually. So, like the Twitter one is automatic. The Facebook group is automatic. And then when I post in like the Uriah Heep fan group, and then on my website, sometimes I do that ahead of time, but usually I don't, because the player doesn't work until the episode releases, and it can be a little confusing. So I usually wait until I get up. So when I get up, it's a couple hours after the episode is aired. Or has started airing, I should say. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Is the song too short, too long, just right? What do you think? Which of the three bears is it? Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. This was a little bit shorter of a show today, but it is the Tuesday show and not the Monday show, so I don't read all the stuff. And it's a short song, but I still had plenty to say about it, I think. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed my thoughts on it, and you enjoyed the song, which is the most important thing of all, because it is a damn good song, isn't it? See you guys on Thursday for Easy Living. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!